Hi, Mama. So I'm doing something a little different today. I wanted to do a talk um, about community and how to build a supportive community for yourself as a mom. So for me, there's a few different types of people and kind of mini communities that I've created since becoming a mom that have been very supportive and helpful to my journey. So I just wanted to share that. So the first one is going to be like your main support for your baby. So you want to think about, okay, who are those people that are helping you to raise your child or your children? So for me, that's my partner and grandparents. We are super lucky that we live with one of our grandparents, and we also live very close to my mom. So they have been crucial to parenting and to feeling this sense of support. Um, and you could also think of like a babysitter for your family or maybe your children's teachers. So these people that are really having influence over your children could even be maybe friends that are helping to watch or care for your children. So, yeah, think about your child support. And then another big community is mom friends. So, we moved back to Hawaii about, it's been over a year now, but before we moved back, I didn't have any mom friends. So, that was one thing that I really focused on when we moved here is finding and creating those friendships. And I think just being open to meeting people. I had my mother-in-law set me up with like a couple mom friend dates, play dates for our kids, and I ended up connecting really well with those women, and we've stayed friends this whole time. And yeah, it's been so nice and helpful to have our kids are right around the same age, so we do play dates together, and then we also have like a text thread where we're like asking each other questions or just supporting each other with whatever we're going through. And usually it's pretty similar since our kids are around the same age. So, I highly, highly recommend finding some mama friends, and maybe you just get set up like me, or I know there's probably apps or meetups that you could do, but even just going to like yoga classes or the park is a great place to meet other mom friends. Yeah, so that's another one. Okay, spiritual sangha. So obviously, if you're here on my channel, you know I'm a yoga teacher. And when I studied in India, this is one of the things that my teacher there really recommended was finding a spiritual sangha. So what is that? It is people whose spiritual aspirations match your own. And I really love that. That's how he described it. So uh, I've been really lucky, and I've met a few people who are on a spiritual path. And more recently, I really connected with a friend, and we've been going to a Buddhist temple together and sitting for meditation and Dharma talk. And that has been very, very like inspiring and nourishing. And she's constantly reading different spiritual books, and I feel really inspired just to talk and be around her. So I highly recommend finding people whose spiritual aspirations match your own. Maybe you go to church or yoga class and you meet people who are interested in similar things as you, interested in a spiritual path. And from there, you can kind of, make plans together to read books or go to classes together, that sort of thing. Okay, and then the last one is nourishing friendships. So before you became a mother, you were a person, right? You were you, and I'm not saying that you're you're going back to who you were because you can't. You're this like new evolved person. But I think it's so important to have friendships just that kind of remind you of who you truly are, um, outside of just being a mother. So friendships that really bring you joy, they're the people that when you go and hang out with them for, it could be an hour, it could be a few hours, but when you leave, you feel really full, right? You feel inspired and full of energy. Um, for me, I can just think of one of my best friends. We meet up a few times a month whenever we can, and either it's like we're doing an activity together or even just going to get lunch. But every time we get together, I leave feeling so inspired, so full. And rather than feeling depleted or drained, which I've definitely had friendships that leave me feeling a bit drained. And as moms, we're already low on energy. So it's so important to find those friends and nourish those friendships that fill us up. And and let those people know how special you are because that is a very special thing. Friendships with women who make you feel full, or non-female friendships. Okay, so those are like the four different types of community, and I think that if you really put energy into growing these friendships and these communities, you'll start to feel just lifted and supported and like, wow, motherhood is not so difficult because I have all of these wonderful people around me who are lifting me up and helping me to do this. I think we've all heard it takes a village to raise a child, and I couldn't agree more. So find your village and take time, put energy into growing those relationships, and they will bloom and flourish. And I'll also say that it takes time. We've lived here in Hawaii well, I grew up here, but moving back after being away for over was 7 years, it was basically starting from scratch for us. And at first, when we first moved home, I was definitely feeling a bit lonely and kind of disappointed that I didn't have more support, more friends, and um, but I didn't get too stuck in that. I just kept focusing on growing those friendships and just kept showing up for people and things that I said I would show up to. And now, a year later, I feel so much better. I feel so much closer and like I've really deepened connections with people, and I feel excited. I feel like those connections are just growing and flourishing even more. So I hope you found this to be helpful. And I just want to say you're doing an amazing job. And just watching this video tells me that you care a lot about being a mother and about being the best mother that you can be. And I hope this helps you.